There are legends in show business, and then there are individuals who have transcended mythology to achieve greatness in their own right. Sigourney Weaver's career has had its ups and downs like anyone else's, but she has persevered to become one of the best actresses to ever grace the screen. However, there are some aspects of her real life that cannot be shown on television. That's right. What are some of the things about her that many supporters are unaware of? Well, let's have a look. To begin with, she drew inspiration from The Great Gatsby for her stage moniker. When Sigourney Weaver was born, she was given the name Susan Alexandra Weaver. Her birth name was not Sigourney Weaver. Despite this, she never thought a name as short as Sue was fitting for someone her size. As a result, when she was 13 years old, she began going by the name Sigourney, which she had gotten from one of the great American novels. She was in the middle of reading F. Scott Fitzgerald's classic work, The Great Gatsby, when she came across the strange name on one evening. Jordan Baker, the novel's protagonist, mentions her aunt, Mrs. Sigourney Howard, in passing at one point. Although Mrs. Howard is never seen in the book, Weaver was so inspired by the name that she decided to adopt it and use it in the future. Number 2, she went to Yale with Meryl Streep. Despite receiving her Bachelor of Arts degree from Stanford, Weaver acquired her Master's of Fine Arts degree from Yale, Master of Fine Arts. Meryl Streep, who was also a student at Yale at the time and working on her MFA, met Weaver at this university for the first time. Unfortunately, while Streep was performing at Yale Repertory Theater, she was typically cast in more prominent roles, whereas Weaver was cast in lesser and less developed ones. Fortunately, Weaver did not let this discourage her, and she pursued an acting career. Although the drama department did not recognize her talent, her dedication and determination paid off, and she was cast as Ellen Ripley only 4 years after graduating from Yale. Meryl Streep and Sigourney Weaver have created brilliant careers in the modern era and remain among the industry's most well-known performers. Number 3, while attending Stanford, she lived in a treehouse with her lover. Moving in with a partner while attending college is not unusual, but moving into a treehouse with your beloved is an unusual living situation. Weaver and her partner at the time did just that while attending Stanford University. They also entertained themselves by performing flute duets and dressing in homemade elf costumes. When The Guardian asked Weaver to characterize this period of her life in 2006, she explained, "It was the 1970s, you know? Flower power." When Stanford Magazine contacted her about her time at the university in 2007, she revealed some further facts. Up in La Honda, inhabitants performed experiments while building domes and tents to live in. Back then, everything was so different, she explained. Weaver's nonconformity may distinguish her as such a superb actress, although her behavior may appear strange to those unfamiliar with her. Number 4, she is terrified of elevators. Weaver has fought against hazardous aliens infested with parasites and evil supernatural entities throughout her career. She doesn't seem to be bothered by anything, but there is one thing she's scared of: elevators. According to sources, Weaver has spent much of her life alone inside broken elevators, which may explain why she fears to ride in them. She always double checks the date of the elevator's most recent safety inspection before boarding an elevator that she has no choice but to utilize. Weaver claimed in a 2009 interview with the Daily Express, quote, "I'm very different from my image. I've fought aliens, ghosts, and gorillas in movies, but I'm frightened of various things in real life, such as taking elevators. I've almost gotten caught in them a couple of times. If I'm alone in an elevator, I'm quite scared," she continued, "and I could never live in Los Angeles because of my fear of earthquakes." Number 5, her pay for Annie Hall was only $50. Weaver received a whopping $1 million for her performance in Aliens and a cut of the film's profits. This was primarily due to James Cameron's tenacious pursuit of Weaver to reprise her role as Ripley. On the other hand, Weaver had not only been paid in the 7 figures, her first paycheck consisted of only 2 numbers. Her first film role was in Annie Hall, directed by Woody Allen and released in 1977. In the film, she portrays a date who goes by an alias for Allen's character, Alvy. Weaver, who is shot from such a distance that she is barely recognized, was only paid $50 for the role, which is a pittance compared to the massive sums she now commands. Despite the low pay, Weaver said she is proud of her role in the film, which won multiple Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Number 6, after reading the screenplay for The Village, she had nightmares for 2 weeks. Although Weaver was forced to watch an alien emerge from John Hurt's tummy in the film Alien, the picture was not the root of her sleepless nights. Instead, the script for the 2004 picture The Village, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, gave Weaver the creeps. After finishing the screenplay for the first time, Weaver began suffering horrific dreams that lasted for 2 weeks. In a 2004 interview with The Times, Weaver stated that she was surprised by how The Village profoundly impacted her mental health. In an interview, she said, quote, "It was bizarre because I had been imbued with many of these concepts throughout my career. My subconscious just couldn't take it." Weaver made an outstanding performance as Alice Hunt, which helped The Village become a commercial success, and the picture achieved significant popularity. Number 7, while filming Gorillas in the Mist, a silverback gorilla assaulted her. A bad-tempered silverback gorilla ran up to Weaver and slammed her onto her back while filming Gorillas in the Mist in Rwanda. The actress recounted the encounter in 2010 interview with the Mail on Sunday. "This gorilla jumped up, screamed up the slope, and knocked me flat. She was afraid, but she kept calm and waited for the gorilla to leave her alone. I felt like I was made of jelly. My heart stopped, and all I could hear was the blood pouring through my veins." The silverback eventually backed down. "He didn't bite me or rip my arm, but after approximately 5 minutes, I heard him terrorizing some other female up the hill." A Diane Fossey Institute employee who was working on the video then remarked that Weaver had now entered the extremely elite club of persons who have been stung by a silverback gorilla. Number 8, in Alien, Ridley Scott forced Weaver to perform her stunts. Ridley Scott, the director of Alien, required that Weaver execute all of her stunts in the picture, and the tireless actress readily accepted the challenge. Due to harsh filming conditions, Weaver claimed chilling while filming in a flimsy t-shirt in the middle of winter. However, the steely actress was adamant about getting on with the job. She could please Scott and pull off her own tricks. New behind-the-scenes photographs from the next Avatar film show Weaver filming underwater, proving that even in her 70s, she isn't afraid of stunts. Weaver confessed to the New York Times in 2020 that she wanted to prove to people that she wasn't too old to conduct deeds. "I was excited to do it. I didn't want someone to say, 'Oh, she's elderly, she can't do this,'" she explained. Number 9, growing up, she was bullied because of her height. While in high school, Weaver was the unlucky recipient of some hurtful remarks and bullying. Her classmates mostly singled her out because of her height, which she was very self-conscious about as a teenager. Weaver stood over 5'10" at the age of 11. She is now 6'3" tall in heels. When she thinks back on her upbringing, the actress recalls feeling awkward, gangly, and self-conscious about her height. In a 2009 interview, she said she felt like a huge spider during her formative years. "I've never had the confidence to think I could act," she admitted in an exclusive interview. Finally, number 10, her father was an NBC executive who invented the talk show. Weaver is not the only member of her family who has earned success in the entertainment industry. Her father, Sylvester L. Weaver Jr., was a United States television executive who served as NBC's president from 1953 to 55. Mr. Weaver is primarily credited with helping to establish television as the primary medium for home entertainment in the United States. Furthermore, he was a forerunner of the desk and couch talk show format adopted on both Today and The Tonight Show. In recent times, the format is widely still used. Weaver's uncle and her father's brother, Doodles Weaver, was a well-known comedian who had his own NBC show in the late 1950s. He was given the name Weaver. Weaver's mother, Elizabeth Inglis, was also an actress. She is most known for her portrayal in the 1940 crime picture, The Letter. Well, that marks the end of today's video. We hope you liked it. On your way out, please make sure to hit the subscribe button for more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching.